Hi everyone, I have completed yet another book, so it means another book review, and I'm going to have to really sort of think about next month whether I want to do a review every time I finish a book or try and do a review at the end of the week on what I've read, because I seem to be doing reviews an awful lot this month. Oh well. Anyway, the book I am reviewing today is Once Upon a Dream, A Twisted Tale by Liz Braswell. This is part of the Disney Twisted Tales series of books, which looks at the Disney films that we know and love and takes one aspect of them and twists it and makes a story completely different. In this case, the story is of Sleeping Beauty, which obviously most of you will have either heard about or seen at some point, particularly if you have young girls or even young boys. My lads love Sleeping Beauty, so there we go. Or if you've seen the recent remake kind of film that they made starring Angelina Jolie called Maleficent, which looked at a version of Sleeping Beauty from Maleficent's point of view. This book poses the question, what if the Sleeping Beauty never woke up? That should have been a bit of a clue to me, because I didn't read the blurb on the back here that told me the plot of the story, that gave me some idea of what I was going into. I just opened the book and started reading, and at the start of the second chapter I was suddenly very, very confused about what happened. So I would suggest, if you don't want to be spoiled, stop watching this now, go and read the book, and then come back and watch the rest of this, because I'm potentially going to spoil things for you. I think it's well worth going into this book knowing nothing about it, not even reading the plot synopsis whatsoever. I would say it's a very enjoyable story. Aurora, you know and love, is developed very beautifully, and it's a very interesting twist on the whole concept of Sleeping Beauty. So if you don't want to know any more, go away now. Thank you for watching and bye. Right, the rest of you is still here. You either don't care about spoilers, which is fine, nothing wrong with a few spoilers, keeps life interesting, or you've already read it, which, hey, this will be fun. So, Once Upon a Dream, Prince Philip kills Maleficent in dragon form, goes to kiss Sleeping Beauty, kisses her, and promptly falls asleep himself. Aurora has been stuck in a dream world by Maleficent, who is sucking her life while she is asleep. And in this dream world, Aurora has been saved by Maleficent. Her parents are evil. The three good fairies were not good fairies. They're the ones that caused this problem. Her parents have destroyed the world. And Maleficent, to keep Aurora and those in the castle safe, creates a massive thorn wall around the castle, shutting out the outside world. And basically everybody lives inside the castle. Time in the dream world, as is normal in dreams, goes at a completely different pace to the real world. So while the story actually only takes place over a couple of hours, in reality for Aurora it's quite a few years. We get to see her life as she feels she is as a person. We don't know much about Aurora in the original Sleeping Beauty, other than the fact she was cursed as a baby, packed off with three good fairies to live as a peasant girl in the woods, who sung, danced about, looked pretty, and talked with the animals because she had no one else to interact with. And then she's told she's a princess, you're going to get married, and boom. The premise of this story shows us what Aurora thinks of herself, who she feels she is. And when she starts to discover that she's trapped in this dream world and her memories of her real life keep coming to her, she's kind of sat there trying to work out, who am I? Because I didn't do anything in the real world and I don't do anything in my dream world. I'm just a person, and I have no personality, and I have nothing of myself that is important other than what I've been gifted. I've been gifted to sing beautifully, look beautiful, and I've got loads of grace. And she's trying to work out what that makes her, who she is. And it's quite an interesting journey through someone's mind as they try to understand who they are. I don't know if the author wanted to go as far as to understand mental illnesses in here, because it is discussed later on when Aurora finds her darkest, little, deepest secret right within her mind, that she believes that there's nothing for her, that it's almost like depression is being described in this physical form. And I don't know if the author was trying to say something about depression and mental illness or not, but I certainly got the idea that there was something more going on with Aurora, that she had this tendency towards depression, that she just moped and moaned, and she had days where she wouldn't leave the bed, and that actually when Prince Philip met her in the original film, it was one of her good days where she went outside and decided to go and do something, where we discover through her memory recalls that most of her days were moping about in the bed and not doing anything. And it's almost suggesting that Aurora suffers from depression, and this is the cause of a lot of her struggles in her dream prison, as it were, that she can't get the energy to go and do something, that she'd rather just lull in bed and not bother with anything. So if I'm missing something there, please let me know, but I certainly got the impression there was something being said there about Aurora's mental state that wasn't shown in the film, but would explain a lot about her character. Because effectively Aurora is the princess who doesn't do anything, she has everything done to her, and she's like the girl who has the least number of lines in her own film. I think it's 16 lines she gets, and that includes song. So Aurora is quite a severely underdeveloped character in the film, and I think what this book tries to do is make her real, makes her a person, and it does a very good job at that. I liked the confusion between who Maleficent was. Was she this evil, bitter, twisted fairy from the original animated film? Was she this kind, motherly figure from the Maleficent film? She was kind of an amalgamation of the two, and that was really interesting to see Aurora's thoughts bounce between those two versions of Maleficent. So I enjoyed that, sort of the tying in of the two films and seeing how far we could shift our perspective of a character that we already know or think we know. So I like that. It's quite a short story. It is 452 pages, so I did it in 3 days, I think, whilst reading The Assassin's Blade. It's a nice journey. It's certainly a character development story with sort of the expectations of what true love is, love at first sight, because of the Sleeping Beauty, Prince Philip, it's a love at first sight for them and they fall in love instantly. Whereas in here, because Aurora doesn't have her memories of the real world, she doesn't know Philip. She has to learn to love him all over again. And for her, the second time round, it's not instant love. And I quite like that she gets to grow and understand a person before actually saying, yeah, I care about you. And I like that. I also like the ambiguous ending in this. I thought it was a very clever ending, particularly how things were wrapped up and that Aurora was allowed to step in the limelight and actually be the hero that many of us would want her to be. And then the consequences of what's happened, the fact that, you know, she's now in the real world, having been hidden away for 16 years. Her and Philip have got this kind of budding romance going on, but it's not set in stone. The conventions of the time that you're a woman, you can't lead a kingdom, you know what you think you're doing, you're not allowed your own opinion. And her need to fight against that, to be herself. I don't want to spoil the ending, unless you particularly know it. But I did like how it kind of has a happy ever after, but it's not set in stone. Things have happened that will have knock-on effects, will have consequences for our heroes in their lives. And I quite like that it's left there to be, you know, this is going to be in the future. They need to resolve this. And they need to make things better from what's happened already. So that's my main thoughts on Once Upon a Dream. I did like it. I thought if you're certainly a Disney fan, if you like Sleeping Beauty but you think Aurora's a bit meh, this you'll probably enjoy quite a lot, because Aurora's not meh. She gets a personality in here. She's allowed to do things, she's allowed to think, she's allowed to be engaged with the plot, which is really nice for a character who had none of that to start off with. And I did enjoy this. I didn't enjoy it as much as Old as Time, which is the Beauty and the Beast twisted tale, but I thought it was a very respectable look at a book and a fairy tale that we know pretty well. We kind of all know the story of Sleeping Beauty in various forms, where it's the old, very traditional tale, or the Disney-fied version, which everybody seems to take as the actual version these days. But we have to remember fairy tales are told and retold and retold and retold. That's how it's happened throughout history. And if you want to find the original origins of fairy tales, you've got to go quite a way back to go and find it. So I did appreciate it as another telling of the story. I thought it was a good addition to the film. Actually, you could almost see this as like a sequel or even an alternative ending. Okay, it'd be the same length as the actual film itself, but it added more to that original animated film, and I like it for that. I would say if you are a big Disney fan, if you like the idea of a twisted fairy tale, if you like fairy tale retellings, I would certainly suggest you go and pick this book up and give it a read. If you're not that much of a Disney fan, but you're interested in the whole fairy tale retelling, probably go to the library or see if you can borrow a copy off a friend who has got it for them, which is what I will be doing with a friend next week. So yeah, that's Once Upon a Time, A Twisted Tale. I've got A Whole New World. Yep, I've got A Whole New World to go, and then I've read all the Disney Twisted Tales. I have to say, As Old as Time is my favourite at the moment, but we'll have to see how the Aladdin one goes. Aladdin's not my favourite fairy tale. Really, the film only works because of the genie, but that's a whole different other topic. So I'll have to see how that one actually works for me. Once Upon a Dream, Twisted Tale, is Braswell. Let me know what you thought of it down below. Link me to your review videos, that would be great. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember, these are only my opinions. I don't want to put you off. If you want to go read the book, please go read the book. If you don't want to read the book, don't go and read the book. I'm not making you go one way or the other. These are only my views. You can have your own opinions, and that's absolutely fine. Thank you very much for watching. Happy reading. Bye everyone.